guys, we're out here shooting some Subsonic 243. This is the 100 grain Sierra Game King, and I'm at 100 yards. I decided that I'm just going to shoot them all at 100 yards. So this is the 12 grains of Trail Boss. We're going to start out with 12 and then work our way down. I think actually starting with a higher charge in this case, likely safer. So these will most likely be supersonic. And I'm going to leave my ear protection in the whole time. I have my muzzle brake on my rifle. I think even with a quiet round, it'd still be pretty loud. So we'll just listen to the audio later. Let's get to shooting. I've never fired Subsonic 243. Granted, this shouldn't be subsonic. I've got my chronograph set up. Let's see what happens here. I bet it's going to be a nice soft shooting round. That's just a guess. If you had this zeroed at 50 yards, it's supposed to drop 5 MOA. So I've brought my scope up 5 MOA from my fast regular rounds. So I'm hoping that that should put us somewhere near the bullseye. We'll see how these group. All right, here we go. That round is stupid fun. Does not kick at all. Just pew. If you've got a kid that you want to try, if you've got a kid that wants to shoot 243, this felt like a 17 HMR shooting a 100 grain bullet. That went 1,436 feet a second. Let's try shot 2. And it landed somewhat near the crosshair, which is good. Holy crap. The first 2 shots landed really close to each other. That's really surprising. Like I say in the first video, I was expecting a 3-inch group to be good, and a 6-inch group is what I was honestly expecting. That round was 1,511 feet a second. That one opened up the group just a bit. My barrel's staying nice and cool. These are cool. Doesn't sound loud at all. That was 1509. A really good looking group. Like, I am genuinely impressed by these little rounds. So that was 12 grains of Trail Boss. This is all published load data. You know what? I've got a 5th round. It's not heating up the barrel. Let's send it. 5-shot group looked really good. So from my fast rounds at 100 yard 0, I adjusted it 5 up. And we're hitting 3 high, so we can bring it back down 3. Now we're going for the Subsonics. So let's try these out. These are loaded with 9 grains of Trail Boss. These should be pretty damn quiet. Let me loosen my earplugs so I have a little bit less noise getting cut out. So we'll stop it there. Was that a standard deviation of 30 feet a second? That's pretty good considering what they are. So let me punch in this stuff on my chronograph. 9 grains of Trail Boss. Got 5 rounds here. Got one loaded in the chamber. Okay. Those last ones are shooting around 1,500 feet a second. Let's see what 9 grain shoots. Okay, so I'm actually getting mixed up between my 2 groups. I'm going to bring this back up 3 MOA. But loosening up my earplugs, it's still pretty loud. I mean, it's a pretty good pop. A 9mm is louder without ear protection. But it's basically just a pop. It's not really a bang. That was 1189 feet a second, so we're just over supersonic. Let's see if some of these go sub. That one was 1180. A 6-foot spread between those two shots. It's hilarious. So these are really consistent rounds. They're grouping well. Like, this is a genuine viable option if you have a suppressor and you just want to subsonic some 243. 100 grain bullets. You could shoot a deer at 100 yards with these. Some small game would be a lot of fun. Whoa. The speed difference between the 12 grains and the 9 grains, these things are dropping like 9 inches low. So they're grouping below my previous target, which is like a 6-inch spread. So they've dropped past the group and all the way down below it. It's pretty crazy what that amount of speed will change. This is good fun. CCI BR2 primer, Sierra 100 grain Game King, Trail Boss powder, Hornady brass. It's good fun. Tika T3X 243. That was 1192. I'm at 4,400 feet of elevation, and the temperature is around 45 degrees. So, I'll be honest, I'm not real familiar with where my supersonic range should be. I think it's somewhere like 1150. I mean, if you're a 300 blackout guy, you would know. I'm not. This is the first time I've ever made any subsonic rounds, but it's been good fun. Let's take a look at the standard deviations with the 9 grains. So let's go back to my saved groups. So average 1191 feet a second and a standard deviation of 10.2 feet a second. That's really awesome. Yeah, 1192, 1189, 1208, 1180, 1189. Let's go take a look at the target. We'll talk a little bit about this back at my bench. Just kind of go over the results. That's been fun. We'll talk to you guys in a second.
Well, alright guys, we're back at the reloading bench. This is being recorded a few weeks after I've shot it, and I've already uploaded the first video. I got a great response from the first video. It's actually one of my most popular videos at the moment. Had a bunch of comments roll in, and it was a lot of fun hearing all your guys' guesses. So that was a lot of good fun. So let's take a look at how these actually shot. Okay, let's take a look at this mess, and I'll kind of describe what was going on. So I ran a ballistics chart at like 1100 feet a second, saying that I had a 50-yard zero going to 100 yards. It was saying that I was going to drop 5 inches from 50 yards to 100 yards. So I took my supersonic ammo, zeroed the rifle with it, and then I brought the scope up 5 MOA from its 0. That's when I shot the first group, which was 12 grains of Trail Boss, and all 5 of them landed right in here. Great looking group. I was pumped on that. My point of aim was right here, and they were hitting high. So as I dropped in charge, I decided to drop my scope down like 3 MOA, and I aimed up here for the second group, and my first shot landed down here. In the video you hear me say, oh, they're getting mixed up. I thought another bullet had landed in here. That wasn't true. So then I say, I'm going to bring my scope up 3 minutes, and it makes my group 4 of the shots land in here. So that's why there's a big spread right there, but there's 4 bullets right in here. It's because I made an adjustment in the group, hoping to make it land up here. This is where I was aiming for the lower charge. This is where I was aiming where these ones landed. These all were supposed to land up here. So that small amount of velocity difference dropped my group significantly. I mean, you're looking at like a 6-inch spread right there, and it dropped all the way down here after I brought it up another 3 MOA, so they were dropping pretty bad. Now, if you are a shooter and reloader, you're seeing what I'm seeing and you're going, oh crap, that's not good. The bullets were keyholing. So at the lower charge level, when they were going through the target, they had lost stability and were going through sideways, which is a real problem. Don't shoot 9 grains of Trail Boss with a 1 to 10 twist barrel. They're not going to stabilize. At 12 grains, you're right on the edge of stability because they were still shooting pretty good. These are 2 going into a group right there, and so that's why it looks like that's keyhole, but there's actually 5 shots in here. So these shot pretty well. These keyholes, I can't recommend these. If you have a silencer, be very careful with low charge weights in a 243. Unless you have a higher twist rate, that might help you out. So I just measured out my group. The 12 grains shot into 1.35 inches. That's pretty damn good. The muzzle velocities were extremely consistent. I was very happy with that. Very low standard deviations with those. I was really surprised with this. I just thought because of the powder and the kind of odd choice to go subsonic with the 243 that they wouldn't have consistent muzzle velocities and ignition. I didn't punch out the primer flash holes any more than what the factory Hornady brass had, and I think they shot pretty well. Down here, they still group pretty well. Like I say, I adjusted my scope 3 MOA, and this group is 3 inches higher than up here. So the group is still decent, but they're tumbling, they're destabilized, they're no good at this point. They're not going to go basically any farther and still contain a group. So those are my results. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Did you guess correctly? Were you way off, or did you nail it? So let me know again. Let me know what you guys think of this. Like I say, you want to run a tighter twist rate than 1 to 10 if you're trying to go true subsonics. And another thing, I shot them at like 1180, I believe. I don't know where my supersonic range is. I'm at 4,400 feet of elevation. Like I say in the video, it's about 40 degrees. If somebody knows, let me know. I'm sure a Google search could answer it, but in this video, I didn't look it up. So, appreciate you guys' time. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy trying to do weird stuff like Subsonic 243. That's why I reload. You can do all sorts of things and make all sorts of ammo that you want. One word of advice, these Sierra Game Kings, I don't know exactly which velocity that you need to get to make these expand, but I really doubt it's around 1,000 feet a second. I'm sure you'd have to shoot them much faster to get them to expand, so it's probably not going to do much on small game if you were to shoot it at it. What a great youth round, though. This would be extremely fun for a kid to get behind your rifle and to just shoot a few. I had no issues. None of them got stuck in my barrel. I didn't have a muzzle brake strike or anything like that. Well, I tried to be realistic with my expectations. This is better than what I expected, and this is a little unfortunate that they tumbled. But let me know how you guessed, if you guessed correctly or if you were way off. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you later.